Good morning, everyone. Not sure if anybody's going to join this live. It's obviously quite early in the day in the UK. Not sure what time it is in the US. Joining me today, we have Sega. Sega's doing really well. He's becoming much more confident. Sadly, Atari is not doing so well. He's still very scared of us. We just flick the camera around. He doesn't really scream now when we walk into the room. However, he will scream if we try to touch him. So it's just going to be a long haul for Atari. There's a good boy, Atari. In the background you can hear Sarah. Sarah's got to have surgery today. Well, the bombing and stuff was going on yesterday. Some of the dogs got pretty stressed. They got into a fight. And Sarah ended up with a huge gash on the top of her head. And we cleaned it up. Dr. Ali was off yesterday. Come here, little man. Dr. Ali was off yesterday. So we got it cleaned up. Seamus and Malik cleaned it all up. Shaved the area, flushed it, and they just popped some staples into Sarah's head. Just to keep it closed until today when Dr. Ali got back, so she could actually have surgery to suture it properly. Unfortunately, the wound is too deep just for it to rely on staples. Say hello, Sega. Say hello. Oh, you little monkey. This one's so funny. As you can see, he wants to keep coming to... Yes, I know, I love you. I love you lots and lots, my son. You know, he's coming out of his shell really well. It's just really sad that Atari isn't coming out of his shell quite so much. I mean, Atari's eating well. He's pooping well. He just really isn't wanting to interact with us. But we'll keep working on it, won't we, Atari? He's just sitting at the back of the kennel, right? Well, he's not actually in the kennel. We've opened the kennel up. I'll show you what we've done. Because we're not putting them into an outside kennel, we've got them in recovery. So we've basically, I am in the recovery kennel with Sega, and Atari's sort of sitting in the outside part of it. Hey, Atari. Oh, Sega, what are you doing? So obviously, I guess people are anxious to know what's been going on. It's been quite a noisy few days. Lots and lots of explosions, lots of drones coming over yesterday. About, I don't think it was about 7 yesterday morning. 2 drones hit an oil installation about 5 kilometres away from the shelter. It was a rather large bang. And the smoke was rising into the sky for the entire day, basically. I haven't checked this morning, but there was a lot of smoke. And then we've got the noise of the fighter jets. The dogs were pretty stressed the entire day yesterday. And there's nothing we can do. We can try and reassure the dogs, but we're only a small team, you know. There's not enough of us to go around and be able to sit with every single dog. So we're just kind of doing our best. No, stop it. Yes, I know you can see yourself now. Stop it, you little bugger. He keeps coming up to the phone. You little monkey. Oh, I don't know what changed him. One day he was squealing the place down when we came in. And then the next, he decided that we weren't so bad after all. And now he's just a big cuddle bum fuss pot, ain't you, mate? Yes, he's a big fuss pot. Oh, he's a good boy. Come on relax with Mum. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to see any of your comments or anything here, because I haven't got my glasses on and I've got the phone quite far away from me. So, obviously, if you do comment and I miss it, then I will come back and answer them later as messages. I know, little lad, I know. Do you want to play with the toy? Play with the toy, is he? I've got a toy for him. He'd seen better days. He's got holes in it, but it's all we've got right now. I've spent the last couple of days collecting all the toys in from every area of the shelter, putting them through the washing machine, and this afternoon we're going to go out. Hello, Mum. We're going to go out this afternoon and redistribute the toys, and hopefully the dogs won't realise that most of them are ripped and torn and that we've just washed them. Hopefully they will think they've got new toys. Obviously you guys have been great with all your purchases from the wish list, and Bryony and John will be coming up to my house on Sunday to pack all that stuff up and get another shipment sent to the shelter. And they sent one about coming up to 2 weeks ago, I think it was. So we're expecting that sort of in the next 2 weeks, which will be good. With me being stuck out here, it's made it quite difficult to get shipping done. But we will do our best to keep it going. What are you doing, little man? Come here. Oh, come here. Here's little monkey bugger. Oh, yes, I know. I know. Mummy loves him. He's my baby. Are you my baby? Yes, you're my baby. Yes, Mummy loves him. Yes, we do love him lots. Hey, this little guy is absolutely adorable. So, let's talk to you about the shelter and where we are with the move. There's been quite a lot of public holidays recently. Obviously, we saw the end of Ramadan come, and then we had Eid and Nowruz, which is the start of spring. It's the spring equinox celebrations going on. So everything was shut down, you know, probably, I guess, about 8-9 days of shutdowns with public holidays. So we haven't gotten any further with government in terms of the land. We do have a lawyer, and we're staying in touch with him. We're not too stressed about the fact that we haven't got any answers yet, because at the end of the day, these delays, they just give us more time to be able to try and raise the funds that we need. Without counting everything up, I think we're probably at about the $30,000 to $35,000 mark on fundraise so far, which is absolutely fantastic. In just about 3 weeks, I think it's been since we launched the fundraisers. So obviously we do ask, please keep sharing the fundraisers. Even if you can only donate £1 or $1 or, you know, €1. 8.3 billion people on the planet. We only need a tiny, tiny portion of those people to give us £1 or $1 or €1. So the more that the fundraiser gets shared, the more likely we are to actually reach our target. And the sooner we can meet the target, the sooner we can sort of engage more heavily with government in terms of trying to get like lease for 25 years on some new land. We're still not sure if we will end up going to the land that they offered us, because they want to do it semi-informally, and we can't do that, because if we've just spent $300,000 rebuilding the shelter, we need to know it's going to be there for at least 25 years. We cannot run the risk of spending your funds that you've donated to us, and then 2 years down the line they come to us again and say, oh, we're developing this bit of land, you've got to move again. And we like the land that they've offered us. It's ideally situated. It's 300 metres away. And whilst it'll still be a logistical nightmare to move, it will actually be considerably easier to move 300 metres than it will to have to move to the other side of town and having to catch all the outside dogs. Whereas right now, the plan is, if we can get that land squared away for a 25-year lease, we will start to feed the driveway dogs closer to the new land. We'll move the feeding stations down the driveway, and hopefully they'll just naturally follow us, and we won't then have to go out trying to catch dogs that are semi-feral and stress them out, or having to dart them to get them moved. But they can't stay where they are, because once the development starts, it's going to be pretty dangerous for them. There'll be big diggers and, you know, compactors and earth movers and whatnot all over the place, and it's a massive risk. Oh, this little guy's gone to sleep. He's such a sweetheart, isn't he? Yeah, Mummy loves him. Such a nice little dog. Far cry from the little monkey that we rescued. Yeah, hey, don't want to eat everybody anymore. Yes, I know. I know. He's such a sweetheart. Oh, such a sweetie. So we've got a bit of a shock this week. End of the month is when we usually stock up on the supplies we need to cook and make the dog food every month for the dogs. And we usually spend about $1.5 million dinar a month on rice and lentils and a few other bits and pieces that we need to feed the dogs. So it's, I don't know, probably around $900, I guess, $1,000. and it's been that way for the longest time. However, this week we went to buy the rice and it's doubled more or less in price. We used to pay 28,000 dinar for a 50 kilogram bag, and this week it was 48,000 dinar for a 50 kilogram bag. So we've only been able to buy half the amount of rice that we would normally buy. But what we have done is we managed to find a reasonable deal on pasta. So we have also purchased a ton of pasta, a ton in weight, 1,000 kilos of pasta. And whilst it's still more expensive than we normally pay for rice, it was actually marginally cheaper than what it would have been to buy a normal quantity of rice. The dogs are enjoying it. They seem to like the pasta. We've also started adding carrots and potatoes to the mix as well, because whilst they've gone up in price, that price is still a manageable price. Fuel, obviously, as it is everywhere in the world, the US, the UK, everywhere, fuel continues to increase in price. I'm not really sure why, given that Iraq is a very oil-rich country and produces its own oil, but fuel is going up. We went to buy our gas cylinders a few days ago. I think we've got 26 or 27 gas cylinders. We use like basically a whole cylinder a day to cook the food for the dogs. And a month ago when I came in, we were paying 8,000 dinar for a cylinder. Then 3 weeks ago we paid 18,000 dinar. It's now up to 27,000 dinar for a cylinder. So that's a problem. And we are looking at other options for cooking the food for the dogs. We looked at possibly being able to use recycled engine oil, but whilst it would have been financially viable, it would not have been good for the health of the staff or for the dogs, because it would produce a lot of toxic fumes as we were cooking, which would soak into the food. So that one's been wiped off the table. We've also looked at digging a big burn pit, but wood is very expensive here, and we're not entirely convinced that whilst we can get lots of pallets fairly cheap, we're not entirely convinced that the pallets will burn at high enough temperatures to actually cook the food. So for now we are just having to plough on and purchase gas, and just hope that the prices stabilise sometime soon. That would be nice. As I've already said, we've had quite a few injuries since this war started. The dogs get stressed and then they'll fight with each other. We can't keep the dogs locked up 24 hours a day. That would just be miserable for them. So we are just managing it as it comes along. Apollo and Dionysus, who are the two puppies that were very sick, they have turned a corner. They seem to be doing much better. Still got quite sore tummies, but they are eating well. They're very, very active. Hoping to reunite them with their mum and siblings in the next few days, once they've finished their medications. And then obviously mum has already been spayed, and we will put them all out, and then one by one we'll go out and grab them when they're a little bit older to get them all neutered. Mum dog up in the driveway. What we didn't realise at first was, when you saw the video of me moving the puppies onto the pallet last week, the day that we found them, I actually moved 5 puppies. When I went back the next day, there were 6. So it appears that Mum was actually in the process of giving birth when we moved them onto the pallets, and that would be why the puppies were all wet. So, you know, it's not very often that we actually catch a dog midway through giving birth. But she is doing fine. She's been treated for a mange. Puppies are all doing well. We're checking on them a couple of times a day. Mum's getting 3 meals a day. You know, so they're doing well. We're having decent weather for the last 2 days as well. It's been sunshine. Not very warm, but it's sunshine. But we are due to start seeing some more rain, I think today or tomorrow. And then I think we've got a couple of more weeks of rain coming. Hopefully it won't be as bad as what we experienced last week. we dug the world's biggest trench to try and drain some of the water away that had congregated around the place. It's a hell of a lot of water. We also had to dig a trench up in the top of the driveway as well. And you know, again, not an expensive thing to do, but all these small, inexpensive things to do actually mount up in terms of what we're actually having to pay out. And we're worried. There's a lot of stuff we've got to get done around the shelter. And whilst we're trying not to have to spend too much on maintenance and stuff, because we know we are going to have to move, until we've got an actual timeline of when we will move, we can't ignore the maintenance issues. We've got to deal with them. Obviously we're in April now. May is probably going to come round as quickly as April did. And in May last year we had a tornado. I believe it was May. And the year before, I think it was in June. So now we're starting to think about all the shade structures that we've got in the driveway over the pools. We did get them repaired after the tornado last year. What's the matter, sweetheart? Yes, I know. Yeah, we did get them repaired. And we tried a slightly different way of having them repaired. And we used like raffia bamboo sheeting. And unfortunately, it hasn't lasted the winter very well. And it's started to fall down. So we are going to have to put some money into putting metal roofing on them. You know, we've got no choice really, because if that tornado comes, there is going to be no shade structures left again. And May is when we start to see the weather warming up quite a lot. And then before we know it, it's hotter than the surface of the sun by June. So we have got to deal with that. Hoping that when we move, if we've managed to drive all the dogs down towards the new land, we will obviously build some pools there, that we will basically be able to come in, take all the metal from the shade structures and whatnot and reuse it at the new shelter. That will be the ultimate goal, is to rebuild the shelter from scratch, because we can't just like build a section at the new shelter and then move the dogs like section by section. Number one, trying to find somebody that will work amongst the dogs is very difficult. So it would be far better to build the new shelter and then we will just handle moving the dogs. Whereas if we've got to build one section, move the dogs from that section to the new place, and then have the workers come in to deconstruct the old one, we are going to run into issues. You know, not being able to find workers or contractors that will do it. The fact that we haven't got enough staff to have the staff split across 2 locations. We are a small team, and there's 18 of us in total. Our kennel guys work week on, week off shifts, where they're on duty for 24 hours a day for a week, and then they have a week off. And we've got 4 guys on each team. We've obviously got the vets. That's not currently running 24/7. We are able to provide cover 7 days a week. And then we've obviously got the operations team, and then there's myself. So we haven't got a massive team, and there really is no spare fat in the system. If somebody goes off sick or somebody gets injured, it really does leave us up the creek, because we just haven't got enough funding to be able to employ more people right now. In an ideal world, we would have at least 2 more people on each of the teams, which would give us a bit of, you know, somewhere to go when somebody gets sick or somebody's on holiday. But we just can't. We haven't got the money. And if prices keep surging the way they are right now, then we possibly could even be looking at having to reduce our staffing levels. We just don't know. We know that it keeps getting reported that the war's going to be over any day soon. But the feeling here is, just because the bombs going into Iran may have stopped, doesn't mean to say Iran are going to be forgiving and stop sending missiles out to Iraq and all the other Middle East countries, because I think they made it fairly clear that they want all foreign troops and stuff removing out of the Middle East countries. So even if there's a technical end to the war, we're not convinced it's actually going to be fully over. Hey Sega! So the puppies are both fast asleep now. Just flick you round a minute and let you see them. There we go. Both fast asleep. So I came in here to do a live so you could see them. And they're both just fast asleep. Hey, puppers. Pupper-duppers. Hey, how cold. They really don't care. I'm sure they'll wake up soon. It would be nice if Atari would come and have a cuddle, but he's just not ready yet. So I'll just keep coming in every day and I'll sit with him. He'll eventually get used to it. Screaming's not as bad as it was, but he does still scream. But at least I can walk into the room now without him screaming blue murder. Because up until a few days ago, you only had to walk into the room and he would scream the place down. I think they are brothers from the same litter. So I'm not really sure why Atari, or what happened to Atari when he was wherever he was with whoever the people were that ditched him. I don't know what happened to Atari, because it's so hard to see a puppy this young, that sort of, what, nearly 2 weeks later, the puppy is still absolutely terrified of human touch, or even just seeing a human. It's really, really sad. Hi, Catherine. We don't really see puppies like that very often. When Chris Kringle came in at Christmas, he was also very, very shut down. However, he wasn't screaming at us. He would just sit cowering up the corner. And it took a while to bring him out to his shell, but now Chris is absolutely fine. He's a bloody little hay bag. He's making up for lost time. He's so naughty, but that's fine. Hi, Carol. Yeah, all good here, Carol. Hi, Fiona. So today is just going to be trying to make sure we're caught up on laundry while the weather's good so we can get it dried. I'm going to go out and distribute all the freshly washed toys back to the sections in the hope that the dogs think they've got nice new things. I've been stockpiling a few treats and I think I've managed to get enough together that every dog can have a treat, so we're going to do that as well. Just hopefully give the dogs a little bit of comfort while all this uncertainty is happening. We've had several articles go out in the press. There was one last week on Australian Yahoo, and then we had Fran and Helen who did a piece in their local press, Northwich something I think it was called, I can't remember. That was a fabulous article. Thank you, Fran and Helen, for doing that. And then yesterday the London Metro did an article about us, and then last night Lad Bible contacted us and they have also done an article. We have posted links on the website. Please share the articles. We need people to see them. You know, if we just get like 300,000 people to donate £1, then we would not have to be so worried anymore. And I really do want to try and get the money we need to move together as quickly as we can, because I think when the time comes where government are no longer receptive to us delaying things, I think they're going to want us to move really, really quickly. So it really is important that we get all these fundraisers shared. We share any news articles. Yeah, I'm kind of tired, Carol. The dogs were cracking off all night long last night. Not sure why. I think I could hear pops going off, bangs going off right in the distance, but the dogs were riled nonetheless, so we haven't really had much sleep overnight. And then we've woke up this morning and there's just this horrible smell. It's kind of like gas, kind of, but it's not from the gas company behind us, because they vented all the gas off that over a week ago. And as far as we know, there's no more gas coming to the installation, or at least we're hoping there's no more gas coming to the installation. The oil company that got here yesterday was a British interest, I think Castrol. But it is literally about 5 kilometres away from where the shelter is, so not very far at all. I've had a few pops this morning, but not like it's been the last few days, you know. I mean, it's been pretty relentless the last few days. The fighter jets have been out in force. You can hear the dogs doing one outside now. That's not because of any bombs or anything, that's purely because they're just being buggers, barking at the Satusa. You know, and the puppy's here with me. They're just fast asleep, not a care in the world. So we had a cat brought in last week. He's kind of aggressive, very, very, very feral. This cat came in and he got a melting ulcer. And there's nothing we can do to fix the melting ulcer. We're not a specialist referral centre that can do all this like fantastic stuff to try and save eyes that have got a melting ulcer. So we've had to remove the eye. And I went in to do his medications the night he had the surgery to give him some pain relief and some antibiotic and whatnot. And the little bugger escaped from the cage, and he was vile. I got bitten on my finger. It's a bit puffy and swollen, but it'll be fine. But this cat is really hard work, and we don't actually see the cat. He hides in his house, and I come in every morning and I clean his litter tray and I crush up his medication and then hide it in food, and he is taking his medication, thankfully. But hopefully in a few days' time he will be able to go back to the streets. He's also been neutered. Microchip, the same as we do with everything. We neuter them with microchip, then we tip the left ear to indicate that they're already neutered. And he should manage out there with just one eye. You know, we've had to do enucleations on cats before that have been wild feral street cats, and they do absolutely fine. And I'm sure he'll be more than happy when he does get released. Hi Louise. Yeah, I'm missing the messages as they're coming through. I'm not very good at keeping up. So we did our Easter draw on the 31st. I think we raised about £700 off the Easter draw that will go to the Save the Shelter Fund. Everybody's been notified, and we're just waiting for a few people now to send us their addresses so that we can get their prizes sent out to them. So thank you everybody that took part in the Easter raffle. It's made a difference. And then on the 31st as well, we had the end of the round on My Giving Circle. We tried really hard to get back into first place, but it wasn't to be this time. But we came in a very respectable second place and should be awarded £1,500, which again, we're going to use some of it towards the shelter fund, Save the Shelter Fund, and some of it we're going to use to try and offset the increased costs that we're seeing in country. And obviously voting has now started again, so on Friday, I think that's tomorrow, is it tomorrow Friday? I think it is. We will start asking people to vote again. We got off to quite a slow start on voting at the beginning of the last round, so we're hoping to try and get ahead fairly early into the round and not trying to sort of make up ground later on. I think it's £3,000 that will be on offer, and I think it's at the end of June. So again, we'll be doing our weekend reminders on Fridays and Saturdays to get people voting. We've had a few people, thank you Carol, we've had a few people that have joined the page obviously over the last few weeks because we've had a little bit more exposure. I think our numbers have gone up by about 2,000, but wouldn't it be lovely if we could get to like 100,000 followers? That would be amazing. I think we're at 35,000 right now, but it would be nice to get to 100k. So please keep sharing, please keep telling everybody about us. Just ask everybody you know, give us a follow, you know, share our posts, all of it helps. And obviously if people want to donate, on the details section of the Facebook page are the links to the Save the Shelter stuff, the Join Our Lottery links, My Giving Circle links, and any of those options is fantastic for donating. Obviously the My Giving Circle gives us votes for donations. And of course, if you are donating from the UK and you are a UK taxpayer, please don't forget to tick the box to gift aid your donations. For every £1 donated that gets gift aided, the government gives us an extra 25 pence. So your pound becomes £1.25 at no extra cost to you. In the US, I believe it's the actual donor that gets the tax break. And obviously we are a registered organisation in the US as well, so you know your donations are fully tax deductible, etc. And I think that's about it. not really sure what else to talk about. I'm going to go and have me a cup of coffee in a minute because I am shattered. I need coffee to wake me up properly. It's like 10:30 here now. I was up at just before 6. Oh, so I am quite tired. But that's okay. Maybe I'll sleep better tonight. Has anybody else got any more questions? Because if not, I am going to shoot off because I have got quite a lot to do today. Quite surprised we've got 14 people watching us. That's a bit of a shocker at this time of day. I'm not sure whether it's from the UK or whether it's from the US or other countries maybe more closely aligned with our timings. But thank you for joining. I will try and go live again in a couple of days' time. And in the meantime, we'll try and keep the updates coming for you. And we'll just see what each day brings. Thank you, everybody. Chat later. Bye.